You've got a real attitude problem, McFly. You're a slacker.
You wouldn't match by any chance, would you?
Embrace the probability of your imminent death. And know in your heart that there's nothing I can do to save you.
Rick, where'd you get a hand grenade?
I don't know.
Good morning, Starshine. The Earth says hello.
You know, God puts people in your life just when you need them, and I need me a little Colonel DOGE action, a guy who comes on and just tells me the truth and settles my nerves. He's Senator Jeff Howe. Senator, how are you today?
Terrific. I'm trying to be anyway. I think I got a little cold coming on. I meet with a few too many people that might not be as healthy as I am. I don't know.
Well, and this is the wrong time. You guys don't have a lot of time to get things done. You don't have time to be sick. Suck it up. Here's where I'm a little upset today. I went through the last week or so with everybody coming on the program in your line of work in politics. Hey, talk to me about the budget, how it's going to work. I hear the House wants to cut $1.5 billion. The Senate wants $2.4 billion. The governor's doing. Everybody's cutting. We're cutting like who's that guy with the fingertips? The razor
Scissors hands. Yeah,
Scissorhand. Yeah, we're cutting like Edward Scissorhand. But then when you push a little bit, sir, just a little push back a little bit, everything falls apart. 4 years, I'll do the math. No one likes numbers on radio. 4 years ago, we had a $52 billion budget. Pretty easy because it was nothing crazy. 2 years ago, when the Democrats were all in charge, we had that $17 billion that just came in. I mean, it was like, good night, Irene, special day, and they spent every bit of it. So because that doesn't happen very often, I backed that out. So we're roughly $54 billion budget. Take that. I'm just trying to be a common guy. And now I hear all these people yelling about cuts. Cuts, we're cutting all over. I had literally Speaker of the House, Damon, on telling me it will be mid 60s, the budget. About 66 is what I was led to believe. 66 billion. Sir, what color is the sky at the Capitol if you go from $52 billion 4 years ago to $66 billion this year, and you're telling me it's a cut? Do the math. 27% increase in 4 years. Am I crazy? Am I the only human that does? I'm going broke, you guys saving me money.
You know, well, have you not done the new math series yet? Have you not caught up?
I went old school.
You know,
that's true.
You know, that, I tell you what, the way they do budgets and the way they do math down here boggles everybody's mind. I agree, because they have programmed increases.
Yeah.
And what we are doing is we are reducing, let's say that, we're reducing the increase that they were expected to get, right?
Okay, so here's what I need you to do. You need to become the governor or the chief accountant or whoever runs this weird conversation we have with this, and just stop it. Let's start talking like real people. My wife and I, we don't plan, hey, I got a bonus last year now that's our base. Well, I don't know if I'm getting a bonus next. No one does that except the government.
The government. So they put it in the base. And that's the trick, is that you either get one-time funding or you get it put in the base. And when they get it into the base, now that's a program deal. And where I think we need to go, and I went through this pain in St. Cloud, we went to zero-based budgeting.
There you go.
And you know what? There's a proposal here to do zero-based budgeting once every 10 years, because they're scared of, because the last time I offered the zero-based budgeting deal is they kill it by fiscal note. They make it so costly to do it that you can't get it done, right? There just isn't enough money to get it done. The deal is it is painful to do it once to get there. It is super painful. I'll admit to that. But once you get zero-based budgeting in the process, it is easier to budget that way than what we currently do. Because you go to zero, you look at the list of stuff that you funded, you pick out the stuff that you know you gotta have, and you program that in there, and then you add whatever else. I was amazed when I did it of all the stuff that was in there that I didn't know was in there
we'll see
and
that.
never needed. But
Well, and that,
there.
and so for folks that are trying to keep up with us, because we needed 54 billion, but 70, we end up have 17 billion extra, and you all, I don't know, you know, that you spent it. Now that becomes the new norm. That's what we're talking about. And that is crazy, Phil. Yeah, you can't tell me everything you all spent $17 billion on last year was good stuff, because we're already finding out stuff ain't kosher.
True statement. I mean, I assume you had the $18 billion surplus. 12 of that was, 11 or 12 of that was one-time money. And then you had the $10 billion fees and tax increase. So that's where you got your $17 billion onto the base. And that's how they expected it to continue to go. So we're going to cut from the 17 billion part back down. And you're absolutely on the money with your numbers. But that's not how math works down here at the Capitol.
See,
right?
this is what I want.
A whole different system down here, and it's tough to buck. And that's why we need to put somebody at the governorship that will sign this stuff and put us in a good place, because we continue. I mean, think of this. Back in 2010, it was a $32.1 billion budget. 32.1. And that keep in mind, we're arguing about half the budget, the discretionary part. We're not even talking about the federal money that flows through these agencies. Then you can take this times 2.
Okay, here's what I need. You know, a lot of people like Colonel DOGE. You tell every one of those knuckleheads up there, we're going to start saying we're looking at $66 billion. Because that's the number. People can understand. Don't give me I'm saving $4 billion when it's going up. It's 66. Republicans want 66. They want 68. At least numbers that people can understand. Because, boy, I tell you, I got heated yesterday. And I love Lisa Damon. Do not get me wrong. But when she finally came out and said, well, our number when we cut $3 billion is 66.
Well, here's the deal. She's being realistic on what she thinks she can get to. And because other than that, they're not going to get there, right?
No, and she is one half of 1/3. She's one half of 1/3 of the government that could do this. So 6.
Right. I mean, you're looking at the caucus I'm in. We're the only minority caucus sit down here, right? We really don't have a,
Yeah, you don't have any sticks in the game. No, and again, I'm not blaming her, but I think as Republicans, you got to start, Minnesotans should start talking this way so you know what we're talking about. It isn't this game of cutting what we're going to gain. Let's just get to it. We want 66. They want 68. Is that not enough?
Yeah, because I think the target in there is anywhere from 65 to 68.
Yeah.
And I think the House Republicans are on the low end. They're trying to be as low as they can, but realistically where they think they can get it to. So it's going to be in that mid 60s somewhere, which is still, like you said, a 27% increase.
Yeah, that's what kills me. It's kind of like it's the story. The old lady bought a bunch of cat food, because it was 50% off. And the guy said, "Hun, why did you buy cat food? Well, it's 50% off, but we don't have a cat. But look how much I saved. You're saving me to death at the Capitol." That's what's killing me. Okay, one quick thing before we go to break. Where are you on keys, my friend? Big story in the paper today. 2 years ago, when the Democrats ran everything, they had some cow. It was the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency. Didn't like cadmium and lead. So they made some arbitrary bill. God, I'm not for birds dying. But what it did, it killed the key industry. You make keys out of that. And these key guys are against the law. Go ahead.
It's not only keys, it's high-end paint. If they would have had this in place back when we did the renovation of the Capitol, all that renovation to all those paintings wouldn't have been able to happen. They would have had to use the natural stuff that fades out.
Over time, sure.
There's a couple of items, and that's what we did. And that's what our problem is down here. We have people that have this on their mind. They're going to get it done, and they push it through without realizing the second and third order effects and the unintended consequences that happen. And keep in mind, they're trying to keep kids safe. I get that. We don't want lead in the environment. We don't want lead out there. No. But the alternatives aren't there yet. Technology hasn't caught up. And keep in mind, kids aren't eating keys. Right?
Not for the most part. You don't see a lot of kids eating keys. My part is I only own old cars. My wife has a newer car with the fobby thing, and I don't know what's inside a fob. I gotta presume you look in there's some bad crap. But every one of my cars has the old key. I need Ace Hardware to be able to make me keys because I lose them. You guys cannot put the key people out of business.
And keep in mind, that fob has got those PFAS things in there too. So, we can't win now.
But that's where you guys get stuff done so fast. And I say that the Democrats, when they're in charge of it, well, we'll get rid of that. You don't like cadmium in your eggs, we'll get rid of it. And bam, you make a law. And don't even think about the fact that key guys, and the one they interviewed in the paper was hilarious. What do you want me to do? They don't make keys out of anything else. I'm a key guy. I just love the guy. I got to go to break. You got things to talk about. You got a big badge bill I want to hear about. We got to go to break first. He is Senator Jeff Howe. We call him Colonel DOGE.
If it's your turn to host a game, Grandpa's Barbecue suggests you try something different. Put out the perfect barbecue flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. Add it to your ribs, dip the meatballs, or drench your wings in the original flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. It isn't too hot or spicy, fruity or smoky or whatever. Grandpa's Barbecue. Available in select stores and online at grandpasbarbecueshop.com.
There are many ways to explore Alexandria. Some like to experience the outdoors and all the fun winter in Minnesota can provide. Pick your favorite way to get in touch with nature. Others like to explore downtown in the warm comfort of a boutique or gathered around a table with friends. You can do all of that or relax and do nothing at all. Come explore Alexandria. Start planning at explorealex.com.
As in alligator. L also in alligator. But it's not alligator. It's the Al Travis Show.
He is Senator Jeff Howe. We call him Colonel DOGE. Colonel, tomorrow, I believe, is the last day to have the third reading of the bill thing going on, the third deadline. You got your stuff in? You got all your homework done? You going to get everything in you need?
We're working at it. I just got, remember the discussion we had about some firefighters that got the proclamation from the governor. That killed in the line of duty death bill, I think, talking to the chair, talking to the Department of Public Safety yesterday, I think we're going to get that bill into the public safety bill. So I think we're going to get that one done. I'm very active getting things in, moving stuff around, sticking it into, and I'm working with my folks over at the House trying to get it. There's some things here like the badge bill, right?
I don't know what that is.
What it is because the state troopers had the seal on their badges.
Yeah.
Oh, you couldn't have that anymore. So they had to change all the badges, right?
They got to put the new funky flag on there?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right. But they didn't put that one on there. They actually designed their own, so next time this happens again, they don't have to get the badges, right? They got a little smart on it.
Yeah, I was thinking now.
The Department of, state law enforcement folks, you got the State Patrol, you got some folks in Commerce, you got some folks in
DNR?
The DNR, those folks. Well, here's the strange thing, right? From my understanding anyway, the Commerce folks and the DNR folks just said, yeah, we're just going to throw them away, take them, right? Department of Public Safety asked the Department of Administration, hey, how do we give these things out? And they said, oh, no, you're going to need legislation. Otherwise, you're going to have to throw them. And so...
You mean the cop that had that badge for 20 years, he doesn't get just take the old badge home?
That his family pinned on him, right?
And he can't just take that home because it's no longer any good. He can't keep it. That's like a gift. What do we care what they do? What do you do with the old envelopes with the bad logo on it? What do we care?
So we drafted a bill. It went through in fact, I sent it over to, I think it was Paul Novotny. It went through the House, passed off the floor. It is sitting at the General Registry at the Senate. I don't think they're going to bring it up. I was going to put it in the omnibus bill in transportation, and to find out that their caucus is having such a problem over here in the Senate, they can't get support for it. So
what am I missing? It doesn't cost anything to hand you. You want them to buy their badge for $20? You can have it. I mean, what are you doing otherwise? You're throwing it in the water. They better not be made of lead or that cadmium or whatever my keys are made out of. For God's, really, there's a problem with this?
Well, I think it's that defund the cop thing is still alive and well here in the Senate on the other side of the aisle. Now,
that's sad.
To Senator Dibble's credit, he said this doesn't make sense. This is common sense. We're going to throw them away anyway. Just let them take it home. It means something to them, folks. It's a momentum.
And it's garbage to us right now. You're not melting them down to make the new ones. They're garbage to us. Let the guy have it. It's kind of like the new seal. I got a box of envelopes here. What? Okay.
What's the residual value? What are you going to get for them if you take them to the junkyard and try to sell them? I mean, it's going to be whatever.
Yes. Okay.
The accounting problem is problem.
With the $66 billion we're spending, and I'm tight on that. I'm okay with this. Give the cop his badge. Okay. We got one last thing I want to talk about before we go. I'm frustrated. I want to be a homer. Are you on this Twins bandwagon? They are driving me flipping nuts. Don't even talk Timberwolves, but I know you're a Twins fan. Are we ready to get on the bandwagon, or do we just wait to see if they can figure their stuff out?
You know what? I'm going to be cheering for the Twins. The thing is what I don't know what the batting coach is doing, but he's the first guy I'm looking at. What are you telling these guys, right? Are they practicing? What's going on? What are you throwing them? A big old softball? Yeah. Come on.
They're not throwing them at 95 because we can't hit anything over 95.
Is he a personal friend of the head coach, the manager? I don't get it.
Let's get to the bottom of this. Let me ask you this. You think it's the bat thing? This torpedo bat? I don't know where bat technology all of a sudden grew. We've been having bats since 1832 or whenever baseball started.
Maybe we got to go back down. Is it St. Louis where they produce most of those bats and take a look at those and see what's going on? I don't know. I tour the bat company factory once. I thought it was amazing how they put these things together. I'm willing to go again and say, what has changed in the last 15 years?
All of a sudden you figured this thing out. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm not jumping on right away because I'm very frustrated with my Minnesota sports right now, and I need to get myself back in a good spot. I'm homer material. I want to watch every game and root and be that guy. But it's
160 games, man. You know, things happen. Yeah, I still got faith they can pull this thing out. You know,
all right.
Rough start, great finish. We're there.
All right. Well, let's talk next week and find out what you got in or didn't get in, because it's all got to be done by Friday. We'll talk next week.
Oh, no, it doesn't. I'm telling you what, it goes past Friday. I'm good at this.
Guy knows the ins and outs. Colonel DOGE, Senator Jeff Howe, thanks for being on the program.
All the special interests are represented in St. Paul, but who speaks for you?